Okay, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I would like to present a plan for my research which aims understanding to what extent violence affects creativity. And this is my point of interest as a senior researcher, as a newly graduated sociologist, and also as a trade union activist. So first of all, I would like to say some words about my previous investigations. And in my master's thesis, I analyzed Russian film industry gender inequality. And it was highly expected that men dominated among producers, directors, and writers. You can see it on the left picture. And they also have access to the bigger budgets and stronger distributors, as you can see here on the result of regression analysis. So there is also interesting fact that gender composition of writers affects the female representations of the films. As you can see here, this is a regression of screenwriters, directors, and producers, how they affect a representation of female. And as I use the test Bechdel as an indicator of stereotypical female characters. And in this test, there should be two women in the film who talk to each other and not about men. And among the films that I tested, most of them passed the test, about 60%, but with very little score. You can see here that the score of the dialogue, which was not disqualified, is very low, less than 5% is the most part of the films. So there is gender inequality, obviously, in the film industry, and it is connected with the on-screen representation of female. Meanwhile, there are more than 140,000 people who shoot films in Russia, as I calculated in my previous research. And their contract situation is extremely precarious. So about 1/3 of them do not have any contract at all. And therefore, they often face payment delays and do not have any employment benefits except for food on the set during the shooting period. I would like also add that just before COVID-19 pandemic, Russian feminist film critics website Kimki Babaduk, which now is unfortunately closed, they wrote a question on Berlinale selection of film DAO from DAO project, which was shot by Ilya Khrizhinovsky. And there were rumors about on-set violence during production in Ukraine. And this fact did not stop Western society from praising the authors. And the journalists called it colonial approach. Meanwhile, in Russia, their letter was received very poorly, and the creative community proved to be unprepared to discuss such strong subjects as bullying and harassment on the set, as well as diversity and equality. So what I would like to do in my next research, I would like to investigate Russian creative network. And you can see on the left the picture of preliminary example. This is network based on the films, which are connected to each other by the people who produce them, director, producers, and writers. And then I would like to speak with representatives of some communities, of clusters, to understand if there are what are the conditions of working conditions, and if there is some level of violence in the set. And what I want to share, what I want to find, I would like to analyze if clusters with more gender equality have better working conditions and their films are more successfully commercially and from the creative point of view. And I think that the results of such research could be used as a proof for public or trade union programs promoting dignity in creative industries. Thank you very much for your attention. That's it.